All right, we are officially live on YouTube for another Boss Teacher Live. I'm happy to be here, and I have a very, very special guest with me this evening, and I'm going to be introducing her in just a minute. But I want to make sure that everybody is on, everybody's live and watching, everybody's here. So just go ahead and pop into the chat and let me know where you are watching from this evening. So I'm giving persons just about 30 seconds to hop on. All right, I see people coming on right now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us very, very early. Appreciate that as usual. And if you know anybody who needs to be on this live, just copy the link that is in your browser if you're on a computer, or if you're on your mobile device, just look for the share button, hit share and send it to them right now. Tell them to come on over. We are going to be here for no longer than 30 minutes. So if they come at 7:31, they have to catch the replay. They just have to catch the replay. That's just how we do it here. We keep it short, sweet, and spicy. So I'm giving you just a few more seconds to just share this with all of the people you know need to be here to get really some good strategies about up-leveling their brand. So thank you for joining us this evening. If you're watching the replay, all of the links of everything that we're going to be mentioning is going to be in the description. So you just have to just scroll down to get access to that. All right, so let's jump right into it. I think you guys have enough time. You ready? Those of you who are you ready? Okay. My guest is ready, so we wait on nobody. If you're late, catch the replay. All right, so let's jump right into it. I want to specially welcome a lovely, lovely, lovely young lady. She's quite peculiar. What I mean by that, she has the personality that I dream about, right? People think I'm quirky. I don't know. You haven't met Kimberly yet. But yeah, so this is a young lady I met just a few months ago. Geesh, I feel like I know you a long time. But she was a student of mine in the course program, and she has worked with a number of entrepreneurs that I personally know as well. She is a brand strategist. As a matter of fact, I met her long before I knew she was a brand strategist. I walked into an event one day and bought a book for my children and looked at the front and realized she's the author. And so she's an author, she's a brand strategist, she's a creative at heart. And like I said, she's very quirky. I guess probably that's why we get along so well. I like quirky people, I am quirky myself. I'm quirky myself. So I want to officially welcome in the professional realm, Kimberly, to the Boss Teacher Live. Welcome, Kimberly.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so happy, so excited to be here this evening.
Awesome. So Kimberly is the founder of Curated Charm. Charms? Did I? Okay, you're going to correct me. If it's charm, right? Curated Charm. And I want you to start by just telling our audience what is Curated Charm.
Okay, so many moons ago, Curated Charm was a cute sticker shop. And that was 5 years ago. And over time, it has developed into a platform, a sanctuary for female entrepreneurs who need guidance and education about their branding. And by branding, I mean the soul of their business, not just your logo or your pretty photos. It is the experience that you provide for people and how you show up.
Awesome. So how translate that for us? How do you serve your current clients?
All right. So let me begin by saying my preferred set of persons to work with are women who serve from their hearts. I love to support women who support others, because many times what happens is that they serve until they have nothing left, and then very little is given back to their own businesses or their own establishments. And so they are the persons that I have a soft spot for. So currently, I provide brand consultation as well as brand education. So if you wish to work with me, you can hire me as your coach on a monthly basis. And I will walk you through the steps that you need to, as I said earlier, establish a brand that is heartfelt, a brand that people see and people feel, and that is remembered without the hurrah of the traditional marketing techniques. So you can hire me as a coach, or you can hire me on a shorter term basis, which is as a consultant. And that is done on an hourly basis, or we can do full 1 day sprints, which are essentially one-on-one workshops. And of course, I'm here because I have an online course, and that is something I will be relaunching in April of this year. And that will be called Brand New Me. And it's pretty much explanatory. It's taking all that you do, looking at your hard work, looking at all the hours you put in, looking at the experience you provide for people, and really going in, auditing it, overhauling it, and making it the best possible experience that someone can witness or interact with, pretty much.
All right, so I have to talk about this whole heart thing, because almost every conversation that I have on any given day, it has something to do with sharing a message from your heart. And when you said that your desire, your whole mission, and everything that embodies Curated Charm involves serving women, and I wrote it down, who serve from the heart. Why
Definitely.
is that important, especially when it comes down to the branding of your business?
All right, just to touch back a little bit, well, a lot of it. I grew up seeing my mom work as an entrepreneur, and she put her heart and her soul into that business to the point where sometimes her heels were cracked. That is how hard she worked at what she did. And I saw where her efforts were what allowed me to catapult and gain more than she could ever imagine in her own life. So that's where my soft spot comes from. And also, of course, observing so many women holding up the society, pretty much managing households, raising children, and running businesses at the same time. So, so Curated Charm teaches and guides women to put their best brand forward, essentially. And the reason that's important is because it's a jungle out there. Everybody and their matter is looking for attention. And I don't believe in selling out yourself to gain that attention. I also don't believe in being a samey, doing the same thing as everyone else. So the role of branding in standing out, in standing apart, is really to tell your own story and to connect with people on an emotional level. And once you can connect with someone emotionally, you essentially have a customer or a client for life. And that's a fact. Because while facts tell, it is a story that sells a business, that sells a company, that sells a brand. Persons are more likely to connect with stories than they are metrics or numbers or data. And that's because human beings are emotionally charged and emotionally wired. And as I said earlier, when you can connect with someone on an emotional level, you have them for life.
I completely agree with you. And as you talk about that emotional connection, I call it the know, like, and trust factor, where people
Right.
buy from you because they know you, they like you, and they trust you enough to
Right.
spend their money with you. And as you mentioned, it all goes back to the story that your brand is telling. So let's look on the flip side of that. What is the story that brought you to Curated Charm? Because so many people out there have their story, their own experiences, and not realizing that they can turn it into a business, they can turn it into a course and earn from it. So what was your story that brought you to this point?
Oh Lord, I was the queen of not realizing my worth. And obviously there are still times when I struggle with that. And I would love to say thank you so much to the persons who will call me or text me or send me an email to say, boy, Kimberly, what you do is impactful. What you do is amazing. I am proud of you. Keep going. Because imposter syndrome is very real, very, very real. And with social media, you see so many stories being projected that aren't necessarily true. And sometimes that can throw you off. And that is why your why is so important, because your why is what will keep leading you even through those times of doubt. So for me, I think I came to the point where I realized that I didn't want to die with all the gifts God had blessed me with. And I felt so ungrateful, so ungrateful to have them stored in my pocket for so many years, ifing and butting and eyeing and telling myself I'm not ready, excuse after excuse. And I don't remember if there was a particular moment of clarity, but I do believe it was a period that but it was just tired of one of foolishness, really and truly. I was sick and tired of making excuses. Every day I get up is another excuse. So I say, you know what? Listen, you ain't getting no younger, and you're going to ship out. You're going to jump into that ocean and you're going to learn. And here I am, still swimming. I haven't died.
You have not died. You are very much still alive. So let me ask our audience, those of you who are watching live, and even if you're watching the replay, you can type this in the comments as well. What is the foolishness that you are telling yourself day in and day out that is preventing you from launching out into your greatness? You know why I want you to type it? You're going to type it in on people are going to see your username and know it's you, because I want you to deliberately call it out and say it for what it is. Speak to it and tell it that you will harass me no more. Do that.
Right.
Do that. Because there is life and tongue in the power. Let me say that again. There is power in your tongue, life and death. And you've been speaking death over yourself by telling yourself these excuses all these years.
Right.
So may I just start today and speak life over it. So type it into the chat, call it out for what it is, and make a decision that tomorrow it's going to affect you no more. To be honest, it's going to affect you tomorrow, but you will have the power. You will have amassed enough power, at least hearing from Kimberly tomorrow morning when you get up and it rolls its ugly head and tell you that you can't do this, you're not good enough, you're not ready. You say, you know what? Kimberly did it, so can I. So if that's all you take from tonight, listen. This 30 minutes would have been well worth it.
Agreed. And that is the most common one, Julia. I'm not ready. And the truth is, you'll never be ready. However, you need to start before you're ready, because there's so many things that you need to figure out as you go along. And if you jump in, trust me, you will figure them out. I can promise you, because me not dead yet. Still alive.
Yeah. I was gonna translate, but you said it. Because we have people from all over the world watching. I want to make sure that you guys are getting
everybody gets
the message. All right, so I added something on social media today, and I want you to give us some clarity on exactly what this means. So you had mentioned that when it comes on to branding, Most people in business think about the bottom line, the bottom line, the bottom line, which is money. And we all know we're in business to make money.
Right.
But why is it so important to think about your brand over thinking about the money?
Oh
And
Lord.
one contribute to the other.
Oh Lord. Just 15 minutes we have for this? I could go on and on about it.
All right, just give us a little tip.
All right. Based on what I said earlier, that people connect emotionally, I don't think you need any other reason. One of my mentors taught me that when someone buys a necklace, they don't buy the necklace. They buy the hope of getting dressed up to go out and looking pretty and enjoying an evening with friends and with family. When someone buys a wine opener, they're not buying the wine opener. They're buying the prospect of dinner parties and New Year's Eve celebrations and making memories. So when you are selling a soap, when you are selling a body scrub, or you're selling a service, you're not selling just that. You are selling an experience. You are selling the hope that someone's life will be improved. When you sell them that soap, it's not just to go in the bathroom and bathe with the soap. It's
so true.
The interaction. When I message this person on Instagram, how do they make me feel? When I get this package, how does it look? What kind of emotions does it stir? When I open the package and see that little handwritten note, oh, you did this for me? Oh my gosh. No, I can't bathe with any other soap in the world because I need a handwritten note every time. So yes, you go in business to make money, and money is important for your survival and the development of your business. However, you have to think about that experience. You have to think about getting this client over and over and over, because it's much cheaper to market to and maintain a returning client than it is to get a new one. So when you snag that one person, oh gosh, man, butter them up, let them feel good. And that is how you will get more money from them, because not only will they be spending from their purses and wallets, they will recommend you to others. They will become your brand advocate. Most of the persons that I work with are referrals. I mean, 98% of the females I work with are referrals, because someone told someone who told someone that, hey, I worked with Kim on this, and boy, I really appreciate her tone. I really appreciate her accountability. I really appreciate the fact that she cares about me and my success. So yes, money is important. We all love money. Money is our friend. But at the same time, I discourage people from chasing money. Chase a brand that is sophisticated and one that is of excellence, and the money will come.
I completely agree with you. What you spoke about just now is what I call in online course the God factor. When I teach marketing and I teach sales, I say to them, you're not just selling a course, you're selling life transformation. And you've heard this before, Kimberly. You've heard this before. Like, what does your potential customer, your potential client think about when they lie down in their beds at night? What are those things that are bothering them in the deepest parts of their mind? Those are the things that you need to address with your products, with your services, with your course. Those are the things, once you get their attention on those things, that's what's going to make them buy. Your course is 1 in a million, and they could have gone and chose 1,000,001. Right? But once you understand what are the deep desires in their heart, you can sell a customer any time.
Because you're speaking directly to their heart.
from a pin to an anchor. And
Yeah.
that is why I really love that you emphasized the whole notion of branding and developing a business that comes from your heart. Because the truth of the matter is, if it's not coming from your heart, you're not going to sell from a genuine place. And people can see that from
They will.
100 miles away.
They will. They will.
So your brand has to be of such that it really connects with people. So when we talk about branding, right? A lot of people think about brand colors.
Mm-hmm.
They think about how
Mm-hmm.
your website look. They think about your social media grid, how every picture must have a next text and a next picture and a next text on Instagram and all those things. Is branding more than that? I mean, we've touched a lot on it, but I just want to call this out particular because I know a lot of people think this way. Branding is just identifying your colors, the red, yellow, and blue, or pink and purple, what you're using, and make sure your social media feed looks a certain way. Like, what is beyond that in terms of branding?
All right. I'm really, really happy you asked that question because I see where branding is now a buzzword. Everybody's talking about branding. Everybody is a brand something, brand coach, brand strategist, brand this, brand that, brand advocate. And I'm really happy you asked it because I love an opportunity to dispel some myths and provide more information. So what you just mentioned, which is what we would call the aesthetic appeal of a brand, is one of many, many touch points within a brand. So touch points include email marketing. It includes the actual product. It includes webinars, workshops, other events. I mean, I could go on forever. Branding, all right, this is how I like to simplify it.
Mm-hmm.
Consider your service, your offer, your product to be the body, right? Consider your brand to be the soul. The brand is what keeps the body alive. The brand is what makes interacting with the body wonderful and charming and warm and cozy. The soul is what keeps you coming back.
Yeah. I like it.
I hope persons can understand from that example that the colors, the logos, the photographs, the social media management is one of many aspects of that soul. Every single soul is made up of various components, and that is just one of those many components.
A colleague of mine says, and I think this is a quote that they got from somewhere, that branding is what people think about you and your business when you are not in the room.
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah. And that has never left me. So while you ponder on that, people watching on YouTube and those watching the replay, I want you to get your questions ready for Kimberly and type them in the chat. I have one more question for her. We're almost at the 30-minute mark. Can you believe that already? It's 25. We've been on for the last 25 minutes. So I want you to get your questions ready. And while you're typing those in the chat, I've deliberately pulled up her Instagram profile so you can go and follow her. So on screen right now is Kimberly's Instagram profile, and a link to get to that is also going to be left inside of the description of this video. I think I'm going to just pop it in the live chat as well so persons can click on over and come and follow you and just engage with your services as well. So type your questions now. And I want to ask you finally, Kimberly, what are some tips that you could give to the audience about how to go about establishing their brand? Say they haven't hired you yet. What can they think about now before they sign that contract to become your client?
Eat a lot of cotton candy. Cotton candy makes you strong and healthy.
No, I can't.
I'm joking, obviously. So my my number one tip to elevate your brand is to use professional photos. The selfies in the dark corner at Ribby's is not a good representation of you. When I go on your profile as someone who has never met you and I see your display photo being a group shot, I have no idea who you are. And I keep scrolling down and I see a lot of screenshot quotes with other person's logos in it. I see old photos from high school. I see photos of the dog, photos of the baby's feet. While it is good to share the things you love, there has to be a strategy around it. And the first thing I encourage my charmers to do is upgrade their photos. It's a worthwhile investment to hire a photographer and take some photos. It's very, very important. Extremely important, guys. People decide within 5 to 7 seconds if they like you. 5 to 7 seconds. If you have up a photo on the beach in a group, sprawl out on the sand, I go down and I see random photos of nothing that relates to the soap you're selling, I'm going to decide to move on because it shows me that you are not serious about what it is that you are doing. You haven't taken the time to portray adequately what you want me to feel, so I'm going to move on. So that's my number one tip. Upgrade your photos. Trust me, it's a worthwhile investment. Get the savings plan, go to the stoplight, sell some banana, whatever it is that you need to do. Upgrade your photos. It is a worthwhile investment. Check the partner drawer and text on new picture. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
So in the meantime, as they wait on the partner draw and wait on the savings and enough money to collect at the stoplight, is it okay for you to get, let's say, a nice little plain background like mine and try looking your best as possible and take a decent photo? Is that
Definitely. Headshots preferably. If you have brand colors, try to match your background, your clothes with said brand colors as best as possible. I know that sometimes there are financial constrictions and it can't happen. However, ask a friend who has a good phone. If that said friend has a ring light, you can utilize that as well. There are some clip-on ring lights that are sold on Amazon and some tech shops that you can clip onto your phone. It's not very expensive. And what it does is elevate the look of your photos, even for a little bit. As I said, ask a friend who has a nice camera to take some photos. You could also go to a photo studio and get some headshots done as well. That shouldn't be too much on the expensive side, but anything you can do to elevate that first set of photos that someone interacts with you will elevate their perception of you, and that's absolutely important, guys.
And I know a certain someone, wink, wink, who is a professional photographer, wink, wink. Do you know anybody, Kimberly?
Me? No.
Just tell him, Ando. Just tell him. Just tell him.
Well, yeah. Honestly, I recommend other people these days. I take photos for myself and my family. My go-to photographers, two persons. Camille Elliott, she is Elimac Creative Media on Instagram, and Jordash Jones of Dash Photography. Those are the two persons that I trust to take my photos. Like, I show up and just stand up, and I know that I'm in good hands, absolutely good hands.
And I'm pretty sure you have other people that you can recommend for other things as a brand strategist.
Definitely.
You must have your team or your go-to set of people who are going to support you to support your clients. So final question. I did say that was the final one, but I absolutely have to ask this, Kimberly. How can people connect with you to work with you to help elevate their brand?
Okay, that's a great question, Julia. My Instagram, as Julia mentioned earlier, is at Kimberleen. That is KHYMBERLEEN, as well as at Curated Charm. That is CURATED Charm. My website is in the works, so I won't give you guys that information just yet, but hop on to Instagram for sure and send me a DM, send me a message, say hi, post an emoji. I am always up for conversations. I'm more than willing to engage your questions and to help you make the best decision in terms of elevating your brand, because the truth is you may not work with me, and that's absolutely fine. There are other brand strategists locally that are doing an amazing job, and as Julia said earlier, I can recommend those as well. I can give you some tips. Maybe you may feel like you are lacking in the branding department, but you're not. Maybe you need to actually pull up your socks in the sales department. And I have recommendations for those persons as well.
Awesome. I'm not seeing any questions coming in the comments. So I'm assuming you have been the very best of teachers tonight. They are crystal clear on everything that you have said. But do not forget that Kimberly's course on branding called Brand New Me is coming up later this year. So I urge you to go over to her Instagram page, follow her, so that when she shares updates on that, you will be in the know. Kimberly, I want to thank you so much for coming on tonight, for sharing your wisdom with us. And I know this must have opened the eyes of a lot of people watching, listening, those watching the replay. Make sure you click on the links that are in the video. And I know you'll continue to share amazing content around how women can elevate their brand, build a business from the heart, and give their best into the world. So thank you for coming on to the Boss Teacher Live, Kimberly.
Thank you for having me. It was an absolute honor. And remember to eat your cotton candy, guys.
Yes, eat your cotton candy. It makes your brand dandy. Hey! Goodness, we need to stop. Guys, we are logging off right now. We'll see you again next week, Monday, for another Boss Teacher Live. Bye.
Bye.